All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Abbott, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Healthy by Choice class. Tonight, we're going to be doing the Wellness Home Edition, or rather, I say Dr. Lindner will be doing the Wellness Home Edition. It is my privilege to introduce you to Dr. Lindner. He is a physiologist. He earned his physiology degree at Clemson University. He has been a former faculty member at UC Davis, and he is currently adjunct professor at Chico State University. So I'm going to unmute you, Dr. Lindner, and take it away.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could join us this evening for the class. We're going to talk about some simple, easy ways to be healthy by choice. That's the name of this master class that we do every Tuesday evening. And the first thing we're going to talk about is, there we go, is the Self-Care Awakening. This is a magazine that Heather and I published a couple years ago. And if you're a guest on here this evening, I highly suggest that you ask the person that invited you to send you a copy of that. They can do that electronically, and you can take a look at it. So our tagline is "Be healthy by choice, not by chance." Because if we leave our health to chance, chances aren't very good we're going to be healthy. And health is something I think that's on everybody's mind right now. The self-care is an active process through which we become aware of and then make choices for a healthier life. And if we want to look at this, so let's look at it this way. If we leave our health to chance, it's kind of like spinning a wheel of fortune and hoping we're going to land on that healthy pie. And the chances aren't very good. And like I said, many of us right now are concerned about health. We're trying to keep our immune systems healthy. You know, we have a lot of self-isolation. A lot of us are spending a lot of time in our homes. And actually, are they the healthiest place for us to be? And in many instances, they aren't. You know, we have lots of off-gassing from construction material, carpeting, clothing, bedding. Many times I ask people, just Google what's in a conventional mattress as far as fire retardants and chemicals and things that we're breathing all night. So we have toxic substances in our homes that we can ingest, we can inhale, we can absorb. And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about tonight, is how to make our homes the healthiest environment possible. But before, as a physiologist, let's go through a little brief physiology. So we have anywhere from 50 trillion to 100 trillion cells in our body, depending on the source that you're looking at. And these are grouped into tissues that organize into organs and then into systems. And all these need to work good in synchrony and in balance. And of these 50 trillion cells, about 10 trillion of those are what we call our somatic cells, which make up our bodies. And so we have 10 trillion of these, and we need to replace about 6 billion a day. In the time that I just said that, each of us replaced about 50 million cells. So I think that gives us a good appreciation for how amazing our bodies are and how they can regenerate and renew themselves. But to do that, each cell requires certain things to be healthy. So we need the energy of the earth, some magnetic support, and we need sunlight and some of the rays, and mostly in the invisible spectrum from the sun to be healthy. We need clean, healthy water. We need clean air. We need to sleep. We need to maintain an even temperature and also a nice acid balance base on slightly alkaline. We need to feed those cells with nutrition and support them with antioxidants to provide some optimal metabolism. And this is pretty much what we're going to kind of be talking about. So let's talk about these three vital energies first. And it's the energy of the earth, magnetic energy, and also we get negative electrons from them when we ground ourselves to the earth as well. But we have negative ions in the wind, and those are very healthy for us. And then, like I said, we also absorb rays from the sun, and they're reflected. We don't have to be in the direct sunlight to get health benefit from them. And I'm basically talking about those in the far infrared, which are in the invisible range. So let's talk about some vital things we need to just stay alive. And by vital, I mean these are essential. So we need air. I mean, if we don't breathe, we're going to cease to exist, right? But is the air we're breathing healthy? We live in a pretty toxic world. There's a lot of contaminants in that air, and they can cause some health challenges. And how about water? Again, we have chlorinated water, we have treated water, and nature will want to supply these in a way that is healthy to our body. But like I said, we don't necessarily live in a pristine environment anymore. So we want pure ionized, structured, mineralized water, and we want it to be slightly alkaline. How about sleep? We either don't get enough sleep or we don't get a restorative and rejuvenating sleep. And we would like to have a very deep quality sleep. And how about food? Well, food choices are very important, and we're going to go into a little detail about that in just a minute. But mostly, they aren't very balanced, not nutritious, over-processed, excess sugar added to them. We want a balanced, natural, organic, and nutritious food to help feed ourselves and our body. And then how about energies? We have blocked energies. We block ourselves from natural energies in our homes and the buildings we're in rubber shoes that we wear. And also, we want to be able to absorb these energies. And again, I'm talking about the energies of the sun, the air, and the earth. So there is a company, and it's called Nikken, and that's an anagram for Nihon Kenko Zoushin Kenyukai, which means Japan Health Enhancement Research Institute. They've been around for 45 years, and their guiding philosophy is simple yet profound. Common sense solutions for health are found in nature. So Nikken Active Wellness products use science and technology to help replicate nature so we all can be healthy by choice. So what we have, we deliver this in what we call the Nikken Wellness Home. And it addresses these areas. It addresses healthy air, healthy water, healthy restorative sleep, healthy natural energies, and healthy whole food nutrition. And we're going to go through each one of these, and not in a long fashion, but in kind of an abbreviated fashion. But each one of these subjects, Heather and I have posted videos on our Self-Care Awakening YouTube channel, where you can look at more depth, let's say, in about healthy water. So let's start with air. Air matters. And as I go through these subjects, again, bear in mind, we have longer videos about each one of these. So air. Do we have polluted air? I think we could all agree we pretty much do. And in fact, air pollution is the fourth highest risk factor for death globally, and it's the leading environmental risk factor for disease. Pollutants can be, and this surprises many people, 2 to 5 times higher inside than outside, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Now, here's where the issue comes, is we spend nearly 90% of our time indoors, either in our homes, in our offices, in our schools. And who spends the most time indoors? Either the very young, the elderly, or the infirm, or the sick. And 50% of all illnesses are aggravated by polluted indoor air. We address this with the Kenko Air Purifier. And it is a patented way, it generates negative ions. Now, this is like being outside. It's like being by a forest or by a lake. It's called Shinrin Yoku, or forest bathing. So this is a very effective HEPA filter, captures 99.97% of either 0.3 micron particles in the air. The pre-filter is reusable, and you can clean it and reuse it. The outer filters are replaceable, and the whole Kenko Air Purifier is made with recyclable materials. So it also has a particle sensor, and so it detects ambient pollution in your home. and operates automatically, but you can actually place it on manual when you desire to. It also has a display that shows the air quality in the room where it is. Now, Heather and I have 4 of these in our home, and one's in each bedroom. We have one in our common area, and it's amazing. So one thing I will say about the Kenko air purifier, if and when the time you can invite people into your home comes around again, the people come into the home and go, it's different in here. It feels different in here. Why is that? And it's really from that quality of the air and those negative ions, which are very relaxing, very pleasing. And people can feel it. You really can. It's also Energy Star rated, so it's very efficient to use, and it's 35% more efficient than standard models. So let's talk a little bit about water, and this is one of my favorite subjects. Water matters. And again, you can look at a more in-depth presentation on water matters, but here's the issue. Most of us don't drink enough water. In fact, most of us live our lives in a state of chronic dehydration. And that can be anywhere from 50% of us up to 75% of us here in the US. And water is very important for our health. We lose about 10 cups a day just through normal physiological processes. And failure to drink enough water can lead to fatigue, joint pain, weight gain. I could put type 2 diabetes in this list as well, headaches, ulcers, high blood pressure, kidney disease, and that's just a partial list. So we want to drink enough water. This is a quote by Gina Bria, and she's a cultural anthropologist, and she says, dehydration is the mother of all epidemics and the first step we need to take in addressing chronic disease. And to do this, we kind of need to change our mindset about water. It's not just a beverage choice, it's an essential nutrient. And we want to drink half our body weight in ounces per day. And given that, what kind of water do we drink? So let's look at a little bit of water science. Now, Otto Warburg here was a German physiologist. He was also a medical doctor, and he was a Nobel Prize winner as well, Nobel laureate. And he suggested that cancer cells live in a hypoxic or a very low oxygen environment with acidic conditions and basically feed or derive their energy from sugars by fermenting them the same way that a yeast would, all right? And from this, he theorized that these low oxygen and highly acidic conditions cause cancer. Now, our next scientist here, Dr. Alberti Bosch, went from the practice of pediatric oncology, the study of cancers in children, to the practice of natural medicine. And basically what he said, when you modify the environment, again, following up on Dr. Warburg's observations, when you modify the environment or the ground, you can reverse the progression of tumor cells and cause them basically to destroy themselves. And then Dr. Batman Galish is a physician, and he's best known for his book, You're Not Sick, You Are Thirsty, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And he says dehydration is the cause of the majority of diseases. Now, he was quite adamant about this and very outspoken about it, and he received a lot of flack from his fellow physicians about this too, and really says he was very opposed to using pharmaceutical drugs for conditions that could instead be addressed by increased water consumption. And I'll give you one example, say headaches. 90% of headaches are due to dehydration. So here's Dr. Mushi Zhan. He's a world expert on water. He found that the reinstatement, what he studied was the structure of water and the structure of water in our bodies and the structure of healthy water as it occurred in nature. And he basically said it had a hexagonal structure to it. So his book, The Water Puzzle and the Hexagonal Key, basically summarize, and you can get a hold of these books if you'd like, over 40 years of scientific studies documenting the structural qualities of water. So, and Dr. Shinji Mankino was a veterinarian from South America. He was also a professor. He had a PhD in microbiology and immunology. And his book is called The Miracle of Pie Water. And he said pie water has the power to maximize natural healings. So these different studies, and these are just a few that I'm mentioning here, on the structure of water, the alkalinity of water, the absorbability of water, really were the foundation for the creation of Nikken's solution for healthy water for ourselves in the wellness home called the PIMAG waterfall. So this filters to National Standard Foundations 42, 53, and 372, which is a very, very effective filtration system, has a bacteria reduction of 99%. It produces an ionized, which I mean mineralized water, a structured water along the lines of the hexagonal water that we were talking about. It creates an alkaline water because of the minerals that have been added back. The system uses no electricity, and people report that the water tastes sweet, very smooth. Sometimes they call it velvety by taste, and it's extremely hydrating. So it is great for the environment, great for our bodies, and great for our wallets. So the other question I always ask people when talking about water, are you bathing in tap water? Are you showering or bathing in tap water? And the reason is that chlorine is released into the air. In other words, let's say we're taking a bath or taking a shower. We breathe it. Our pores are open because of the warmness, the heat of the water. We absorb it very quickly. And it's been said that a 1 5-minute shower, you can absorb enough chlorine in a 5-minute shower to equal 30 days of drinking tap water. So think of it this way. If we want to stay well hydrated, we need to drink, depending on our body weight, anywhere from 1 gallon to 2 gallons of water a day. In a 5-minute shower, we were exposed to 25 to 30 gallons of water. So it makes sense that we're going to absorb a lot. And then also there's a report by Dr. Lance Wallace from the EPA that says basically showering and hot baths are the primary cause of elevated levels of chloroform in nearly every home. So the solution is the Nikken PIMAG Microjet shower system. This is a great shower. It reduces the chlorine. It's very beneficial to our skin, to our hair. It has a replaceable filter cartridge. It's easy to install. But one of the things, in addition to the filtration that we really like, is it's very refreshing. It has an air induction system that puts millions and millions of micro bubbles into the water that makes it feel very soft, very velvety again. But it's also, because of those bubbles, it cleans very well. It increases the surface area of the water, which makes it more cleansing. Many times people that have invested in the Nikken shower system, it's one of the calls I get very frequent with them saying, that's the best shower I ever took. I mean, I was in that shower for I don't know how long. It's because it just felt so great. Heather likes it so much, she calls it a champagne shower because of the bubbles in the water. So for great water on the go, we have the Eco bottle for our global wellness community, the PIMAG Sport bottle. Now, this is very convenient to take with you. It's great to fly if you travel a lot by airplane. You can take it in empty into the airport, and once you're past security, you can fill it up at their water fountain and have great water on the go. We have lots of little short videos, and Heather posts a lot of social media about the traveling PIMAG Sport bottle. And in fact, on her bottle, she has stickers all over it for many places around the world where her bottle has been with us. And we don't leave home without it. So there's some great cost savings with the Nikken PIMAG waterfall system. Basically pays for itself in a couple months if you're buying bottled water. And once again, you're getting a healthier, more absorbable water the way nature intended it to be. So we have, as part of our first pack for the Nikken Wellness Home, the water pack. So it includes the waterfall, the PyMag sport bottle, and a shower system. And you can get one, the choice of shower system is either the handheld, which is shown here, or the wall mount. And the best way for us to provide our family with healthy water is to filter tap water. Here's a little demonstration. This is, we did this as a science fair project in our home a couple times when my kids were small. And it was easy, it was fun. It was also kind of nice advertising to introduce people to Nikken's solution for healthy water. But these are yams, sweet potatoes, and they're grown in tap water, reverse osmosis. And in our family, we used bottled water, which many bottled waters are reverse osmosis water. Then we had well water, because we lived on a property with well, and then the PyMag water. And look at the difference in the growth there. So, I mean, this is a great visual just showing how healthy this water is. So our next subject is sleep matters. And we really want a good night's sleep. Many of us don't get one. In fact, the Centers for Disease Control calls insufficient sleep a public health epidemic. A global epidemic of sleeplessness is what's called by the World Health Organization. And when you're talking about that type of problem, you're really talking about something of pandemic proportions. So if we look around the world, people just aren't sleeping. And in fact, in the last 50 years, the average person sleeps at least a good hour to an hour and a half less than what they used to 50 years ago. And poor sleep can cause fatigue, heart disease, weight gain, diabetes, anxiety, stroke, kidney disease, cancer. And again, this is a partial list. But in the US, we only average about 6.5 hours. And we really need 8 hours of sleep each night. And many times, this is a choice. We don't think of sleep. Just like we don't think of water as a essential nutrient and call it a beverage choice, we don't think of sleep as something that's very important for our health either. And sometimes we think, wow, you know, that we have these sayings, the early bird gets the worm, and you know, many others. And sometimes we wear this like a badge of courage or a badge of honor that we stayed up all night and finished that project, without really thinking of what that does to our health. And I'll add this in too, just one poor night's sleep can drop your immune efficiency at least 60%. So sleep is extremely important. And a great way to do that is with the Nikken sleep system. This comes in a wellness home pack. It's the Kenko Nature Sleep System. It includes a pillow, it includes a comforter, it includes a pad to go over your mattress. It has orthopedic support. We have the energy of the sun, the energy of the wind, and the energy of the earth in here, which really helps us sleep. And again, I'll refer you to Sleep Matters for a little longer video and explanation of how these technologies allow us to sleep very good. The Kenko Ground, I've added this to the Sleep Matters portion because many people are saying when they add the Kenko Ground to their sleep system, they're sleeping even better and deeper. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, grounding is a way to connect to the earth. And when we do so, the earth provides our bodies with lots of negative electrons. And they almost act like an antioxidant to counterbalance all the positive charges that we produce daily just through normal metabolism. So you can take a look at this on your own, if you will. Just look up grounding. You can learn a lot more about this subject. It's a fascinating subject, but again, a very natural, easy way to let energies help our bodies be healthy. So this is it's not a scientific study. This is kind of a retrospective study, but it's something that I've done on over 200 people. And what I did is ask them these 8 questions before they used the Nature Sleep System, and then the same questions anywhere from 4 to 7 days later. And overall, so let's just use an example. When I get out of bed, my muscles feel stiff and sore. There was a 50% improvement out of their own mouths. And like I said, just between 4 to 7 days of how they felt given this subject of stiffness and soreness, just in a matter of days, 50% better. So the total was 45% improvement in sleep quality, again, that they evaluated themselves. And healthy sleep, just to drive the point home, healthy sleep has been empirically proven to be the single most important determinant in predicting longevity, more important than diet, exercise, or heredity. And that's from William C. Dement, professor at Stanford, who is considered to be the father of sleep medicine. So let's talk a little bit about energy matters. And again, we want these vital energies. We need them. And like I said before, we constantly shield ourselves from the Earth's natural energies. So we want to harness these energies. And this is kind of a great example where maybe ancient wisdom kind of meets high technology. So we have here what we call our energy pack, which is an assortment of different products that utilizes the energy of the earth, the energy of the wind, the energy of the sun. And we have them where you can use them just about any place on the body. And like just it says here on the slide, we can use them where they're needed. We can also use them on a daily basis. I wear our magnetic insoles on a daily basis. I always have one of our power band necklaces on. They just provide me with more energy throughout the day. And there's good energy and there's bad energy. So really this helps to counteract some of the bad energy as well. So here's a good example of the Nikken Kenko M strides. And this is a thermal illustration. It was done with a far infrared camera by an independent researcher. Just kind of was curious to look to see what the differences might be. And what this illustrates is internal temperature. So the before picture shows these feet. And if you look at the ankle that's indicated by the white arrow, there's a very white, hot area in that ankle. And what that's representative of is an injury and an inflamed ankle. And also note how cold those toes are. And basically, within 4 hours later, a little less than 4 hours later, we don't see that white area in the ankle anymore. And we see uniform temperature in both feet. And what this is demonstrating is this energy and the energy flow as I dramatically increased for some improvement there. And so we have another example and so that's the energy of the earth explained as well. And so what we have another example here is basically the energy of the sun and also of the wind. It has both energies in this Kenko wrist strap. And the before wrist strap picture, we're seeing hot areas around the wrist in the hands, but very, very cold fingers. And after 2.5 hours, we have nice uniform temperature throughout the arms and the wrist and into the fingers as well. So as Dr. John Jackson, who says he's from the Show Me State, Missouri, this is basically a representation of that things are going on here and things are going on physiologically. That's what it says to me. And we have the energy pack. And I want to point out that with these wellness home packs, any home can be a wellness home. Our mission as ambassadors for Nikken is to make every home a wellness home. And we have great endorsements. Now, these are not paid endorsements. These are advocates for our products, professional athletes. We have many amateur athletes. I will attest to them myself. I carry a number of these products in my golf bag with me when I'm golfing. But you got Novak Djokovic there, the #1 ranked tennis professional in the world, with the Nikken Squirt bottle. Herb Rapp above him is the author of Fit to Win and also US Open Tennis Pro. And Herb is a huge advocate and collaborator with many of us for introducing people to these products. On the bottom, and so we've got Johnny Bench. I consider him probably to be, if not the best, one of the very best catchers in baseball. Lots of golfers, swimmers, boxers that, like I said, are advocates for our products. And then on the bottom, we have Shannon Miller. And those of you who may not be familiar with Shannon, she basically is an American gymnast, has more gold medals in that sport than anybody ever else has. So let's kind of move right now to food matters. So there's good food and there's bad food. And I think making healthy food choices is a challenge for many of us. Think about it. One of the most important decisions we make every day is what we eat and what we drink. And it's everyone's choice to eat healthy or not. A major component of the wellness home is healthy nutrition. Eating a balanced diet is vital for good health and well-being. Food provides our body with the energies, the protein, essential fatty acids, essential fats, vitamins, minerals to live, grow, and function properly. And we need a wide variety of food to provide the right amounts of nutrients for good health. Hippocrates said 2,400 years ago, who's the father of medicine, considered the father of medicine, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So Nikken's solution is whole food nutrition. And we have a core system, and within the core system, we have the Mega Daily Mineral and Vitamin Supplement. We have one for women and one for men because we have different needs there. And I also like in the core system the Kenzen Vital Balance Replacement Shake. We have our Super Siaga, which is our super fruits. Ajay Greenzymes, which is natural, healthy, organic barley grass, which has been basically called the healthiest plant food on the planet. And then we have our newest product, the Kenzen Total Vegan Drink Mix, which is for everybody, but it's targeted for those kids, big kids and little kids, that don't get enough fruit and vegetables. And one serving of it is worth one serving of fruit and 3 of vegetables. And it's basically, it's 90% of adults don't get enough fruit and vegetables, and 60% of kids don't get enough fruits on a daily basis, and 93% of them don't get enough vegetables either. So here's a nice solution to balance out. So also in our whole food nutrition, and I want to emphasize that these are foods. They aren't synthetic. This is whole food nutrition. But we have that to support the other systems in our body. We have that for immune support, for musculoskeletal, for bone health and joint health, for nervous system. If you have some gastrointestinal issues, we have some great whole food nutrition to help you with that, and also some for our cardiovascular system as well. So the ones that are staples in our home is the Kenzen Vital Protein Shake, meal replacement shake. It's a great, tastes great, it's natural vanilla. It's all organic, vegan. And then we have our Super Siaga super fruits, the J Greenzymes that I mentioned as the barley grass. And then the newest one, which we really love here, Heather and I do, is the Kenzen Total Vegan Drink Mix, which we call the KTVDM, which kind of sounds like a radio station, but this tastes great too, and it's awesome product. Very happy to have it in our lineup. So the other thing that we want to do is we really want to be wary of environmental toxins, and each of us carry more than 200 of these. There have been studies showing newborns that maybe have as many as 300 environmental toxins in their systems when they're born. 93% of us have BPAs. And what we want to do to keep that at a minimum is detoxify. So how do we do that? If we're well hydrated, we can do that. If we're sleeping well, that helps us detox. We can do it nutritionally and some of these energies. And then, of course, we can filter our water. We can filter our air. We can use the sleep system, which doesn't off gas and have all the toxic chemicals that conventional mattresses do. And utilize these products within our home so we can help our body to help detoxify itself of these environmental toxins. And if we look at the wellness home, it's basically the array of these products: the water pack, the sleep pack, the energy pack, the Kenko air purifier, and then core nutrition. And many people listening to this, and if you're a guest, may think, wow, this may be really costly or very expensive. It's basically not. what you would save that you save from buying bottled water just in a matter of a year would equate to what you might invest in a whole wellness home. And I'll just throw the figure out there. It's around $3,500 plus some tax and some shipping. And that doesn't include your nutritionals, but for those packs, that's pretty much what the investment is. So it's very, very affordable. So let's go back to our cell and what our cell required. And this is pretty much by design within the wellness home. It's not by accident. And we have all these needs, all these requirements. Here are the products and the technologies that supply those needs so we can have healthy cells, so we can have healthy tissues, so we can have healthy organs that work in synchrony and in balance with each other. The best way to describe the wellness home, it's like a greenhouse for humans. It's the healthiest environment you could have for you and your family. And again, every home can be a wellness home, and our purpose is to make every home a wellness home, every home a wellness home. So we invite you to be part of this global wellness community. And for more information, I want to suggest that you contact the person that invited you to tonight's class and learn more. And like I said, there's lots of things that you can find out more about this at the selfcarehub.com, which is a site, an informational site that Heather and I put up for people to read more about what we're doing and the solutions that we have. And visit our YouTube channel for more in-depth presentations on each of these subjects that we have discussed this evening. So with that, I want to thank you very much for joining us and have a happy, healthy evening.